What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You know where you at. Yak Nasty Fishing. And today, guys, finally, tournament number 3, South Sussex Ponds. Yes, guys, Sussex County, Delaware is where I'm at, and I live in Kent County, Delaware. So this was one of the shorter rides for me. Everywhere else is about an hour and a half. An hour is the closest, I think, with Sassafras. So this is one of the closest tournaments for me, guys. So, oh my goodness, man. Tournament number 3. It was a very interesting one. I ended up on a body of water I've never been to before in my state. I know I find it hard to believe myself, but there's a lot of ponds around here, and some of them I just haven't been to yet. All right, guys. So I went to this particular pond, and guys, it was very, very interesting. Before we get started, guys, I want to thank all of my subscribers, all of you guys watching. I want to thank Cheswold News and Tobacco. Also want to thank Jeff, one of the subscribers to the channel. He is also a sponsor for the next 4 tournaments, guys. So I just want to thank him for really helping out with that. And yeah, man, reaching out, hitting me up, and he's, hey, pay it forward is all he asked. So I am definitely going to do that anytime I get the chance, all the time. And man, I just love the heart you got, man, and you're just a good dude overall. And yeah, man, I think you sponsored a few of these videos already. I just want to say thank you. Thank you all, and continue to hit that like, hit that subscribe, and let's get this channel up there, guys. Let's grow this thing, man, because I'm far from done. It's far from over, and we're just going to keep rolling. We're going to keep catching. Getting on to tournament 3. So I get there, and oh my goodness, man, immediately I like what I see. I get in, I get set up, I take the yak down to the boat ramp, and I look up. And now, where the boat ramp is positioned on this body of water, you don't get to see a whole lot out in front of you. You don't get to see anything on the sides of you guys. I'm telling you, it's like a little cut in the woods, all right? So I get the yak in, and I'm looking around, and immediately I think everything is juicy, straight out into the clearing of the water, right? So I see out the hole in the woods. I see nothing but pads. Man, nothing but pads. So in my mind, I'm like, man, this is okay. I could get a limit fishing here. All right, it's pad fishing. I'm going to be able to drop some frog stuff in, some top water stuff. I'm going to be able to do a lot of different things, right? These are things coming to mind as I'm looking out in front of me, looking at all the pads, looking at all the trees, the wooded area. I know there's a lot of hangovers or overhangs, and I know there's a lot of laydowns, right? In my mind, just seeing what I'm seeing, I accumulated all that, right, in my thoughts. So I get out, and as soon as I get in the kayak, I start fishing, guys. I start throwing bait, okay? I'm throwing it before we even get out the little wooded area. It's not that big, but man, does it look good. I mean, to any fisherman. It's water. It's good cover. Of course, I'm going to start throwing as soon as I get on the yak, right? So, get out on the yak, and I have a choice, you know. I fish that area a little bit, and I come out of this cut in the woods to see to my left nothing but pads. I mean, pads on pads on pads, guys. And this is going to be one of the last videos without the Yak Attack boomstick. So I'm sorry if you don't get that wide picture that we will be seeing in the upcoming videos just yet. But man, that boomstick does come in handy. All right, but that's beside the point. Just bear with me on some of those outer third person looks from behind. All right, guys, they're going to be a little bit tighter. I would really love it in this one if I had that boomstick, because man, just looking at all of the pads out there, you would probably think what I'm thinking right now. Like, that's going to be where I fish. That's going to be what happens. So I have a choice. I get out, I fish some of these pads right as I come out of the woods, and I just kind of flick baits in there, see what might work. A little swimmer, my usual, a Texas rig, and I just throw some stuff out there to see if I get any kind of attention right here near the boat ramp, right? Sometimes you really don't have to go that far. Just get in the water and start throwing, and you may end up with a couple bites. With that being said, I'm fishing these pads. I'm starting to come out, and we're sitting in probably about 4 foot of water now at this point. And I start looking around, guys. And then I get thinking. Thinking is going to come into play this whole video, and I can't wait to give you the conclusion already, because after watching some things and looking at what was going on this tournament, there are possibly a couple things I would do over. So I get out and I look to the left, I look to the right, and guys, I start going right. And so as I begin to fish this area heading towards the bridge or the overpass, it's really just a bridge, but as I start to head toward the bridge, I'm fishing, I'm just throwing things, I'm not really thinking too hard about where I'm going to fish. So I don't have a whole lot in mind because I haven't been to this body of water before. So I just think in mind that I looked at the topo map and I said, let me look for these 45-degree banks, Let me get that little bit of steeper, deeper water, even though deeper is relative. All right, so I get to sitting in about 6 foot of water at this point, and I just fish, and I just keep on fishing, get over to the bridge, keep on fishing, and I got a small bite, right, under the bridge. Okay, all right. Let that be what I need. No? That's what I need, but it's little. So I was like, okay, there's got to be some here at the bridge. So I sit there for a little while, fish around, and nothing impressive at all, okay? Nothing I could put on the board coming from that area. So as I'm exiting from under the bridge, I catch a little crappie, Something hook up. Oh, crappie, it looks like. Ooh, nice crappie, though. Wow. No big deal, right? I love catching crappie, too. That means that there's fish around. That means there's fish in the area, right? So I keep fishing. At this point, guys, it's been about 3 hours when I caught that crappie in the water. And I'm like, man, that's 3 hours on here, and I haven't even gotten something that counts yet, okay, guys? So I keep on fishing, and I keep on fishing. After fishing that left side of the body of water and realizing, it is the steeper side. I'm looking for those 45-degree banks, right? I didn't think we were, go mode, right? I knew we were kind of post-spawn, post-frontal conditions, bluebird skies. So I'm looking for those things that are just a little bit different, right? But then I realized what I'm doing isn't working, guys. Isn't working. So I start to hightail it up closer to the dam. I worked that whole left side, and I'm kind of speeding along at this point. I'm going to go fish some of this structure up by the dam, all right? I see a tree or a stump hanging out the water a little bit. I have no electronics. I'm trying to fish this thing all natural, or at least until I get a side scan unit or a 360. I'm really aiming for that 360. But, in the end of the day, I'm fishing visible cover. All right, guys. So I'm looking. I see that obstruction in the water there. I see there's a dam there. It normally means there's a little deeper water up and around there, right? And to the left of the dam, to the right of the dam, and it just wasn't getting any love, guys. And I just, man, at one point I think I was all willy-nilly just throwing it out in the middle and see what happens, right? So anyway, I start to work my way back up on the right side. So I do one of these moves, I guess. And as I'm coming up, and there's the dam up front here, and I start to come around on that, I throw a little bit over here, throw a little bit there. Not getting any love, man. Not getting any love. So I run down on these pads, all right, because I see the boaters over here really getting going. So I kind of skip that one section that they're in, all right. So I didn't come all the way and fish on that upper right quadrant, is what I'm going to call it, that upper right quadrant. I didn't really fish all that because there were guys doing their thing in a boat up there. So I kind of left them to it and bypassed them, went up the bank a little bit, all right. I didn't totally fish that whole right side. I wanted to give those guys some space. And so I get to a section of pads that just looks good, and those section of pads are sitting in about 3 to 4 foot of water. So 4 foot or less, right? And so I get to throwing at these pads. I switch some baits out, and I throw on one of those Christy crawls, right, by Yum. Oh my goodness, man, in the camo. I was going to say camo flavor, but the camo color. And yeah, man, I go ahead and thread one of those on, and I start throwing it around the pads. I'm hitting the edges of these pads. I'm kind of going in maybe that first row of pads in. All right, I'm not going real deep into the pads. I just start throwing it. And I start throwing it. And man, I'm just hoping to get a bite, okay? So as I'm fishing these pads and I'm trying to prey on a bite, right? You know, I'm hoping, man. It's like 3 hours and 30 minutes, you know, 3 hours and 35 minutes and counting. And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, I've been here for this long and I haven't got a substantial bite that will count on the board. Like, man, my feelings were crushed. But man, I'm telling you, I might have been going through some confidence issues at that point, right? You know, all jokes aside, that does happen sometimes out there if you put too much pressure on yourself. And so before I got too deep in my own head, I called my wife. Hey, beautiful. That's what I did, guys. I called my wife. I realized I needed to relax. I called my wife. Hey, babe, what's happening? What you doing? You know what I mean? You know, get that relaxation. She's going to talk to me. She's going to tell me, oh, babe, it's going to be fine. You're going to be all right. You know, you just do your thing, all right? So, as I'm talking to my wife on the phone, I start to relax and I start to slow down a little bit, okay? Throw this thing out, and I ended up throwing like, man, I wish that camera angle was way better, but which it really is not that bad. It's probably about 45-degree angle to a section of pads that had a nice little point on it, all right? But then back behind that point was like a little bit of a cove of pads, if that makes sense. You know, let me know down in the comments if you could understand my description, and then hopefully could put some maps up so you can get a better understanding here shortly of what I'm talking about. So in this section of pads, I'm looking at this point, and I don't know what it is. You guys know what I mean when you get that feeling, right? So I just throw it. I throw it past that point, and I bring it back, and then it gets caught up on one of the pads, right? So flick it off the pads, let my bait scurry on down. Just let it fall right down under those pads, guys. And then next thing you know, I get a bite. Yeah. Man, guys, that bite was the one I was praying for, right? Oh man, my wife's on the phone. She's like, calm down, baby. You got it. Just relax. Don't rush it. Let that fish get tired. Do your thing. You got it. Man, the whole time in my earpiece, right? She was encouraging me. She was like, just slow down. Don't get too crazy with it. Don't try to snatch the fish in this boat right now. Because I'm like, whoa, it's a big one, right? I started freaking out a little bit. And, man, I get the fish in the boat, right? 20-inch, 5-pound fish.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah.
I mean, she was barely a 20, but she was there. But she was chunky. She was chunky. I believe I caught that big girl spawning on those pads right there. So, guys, that right there was a clue, right? Oh man, I got this big one. All right, yeah. All right, I get to taking my photos. I get to taking my shots. I'm all excited. I'm all shaky. You know what I mean, guys? You know that feeling. You know that feeling. And guess what? If you don't know that feeling, you're about to know that feeling this summer. That's what I'm gonna pray for y'all. Hey, get to know that feeling, man. That thing is an awesome feeling when you get that big one and you get it the way you want to fish it. And you get it, right? So now, after all the excitement, I'm beating myself up, guys. I am. I'm beating myself up a little bit. Why? Why weren't you just fishing the pads like your very original first thought when you seen it? Why? And to be honest, guys, I don't know why. I have no idea why. Me and my boy Leon, we was talking, and he said he did everything that I'm doing in his first year and a half of tournament fishing was overthinking it, right? So I'm thinking, oh, everybody's fishing pads, so I'm going to do something different. Well, everybody was fishing pads because that's where the fish were. I mean, come on, guys. Don't be afraid to fish where everybody else is fishing, okay? That'd be a lesson right there. So we get the 5-pounder on. I'm happy. I got 20 inches on the board, right? Oh, yeah. All right. So now I think I know where they're at. They're all along on this right side, right? In my mind. So I keep fishing. I start backtracking because now I'm like, maybe I was missing some things back there. So I start working back towards the front of the body of water on the right side. I was missing something now. Missing something. Okay. But I got a clue here. Color, presentation. I just switched things up and I got that big bite. So I keep fishing. Seems like they spawn on the main body of water. Uh-oh, something just bit me. Come on, take it, whatever. That ain't big. It's probably a crappie or something. Oh, hook up. Ooh, yeah. Come on. Come on with it, don't you? Oh, yeah. You swallowed that bait. That's a good one. Back it up, back it up. Back it up. Okay. Where was this fish found? Oh, okay. You were right there. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Ooh, yeah. Look at that. Hey, that should make 12 inches. Let's find out. Then I get another bite. Another bite worth counting. I think it was a 13.25 size bass. Got him on the boat and on the board. All right, guys. So let's be straightforward. Took me about a good long time to start getting bit to get an understanding of what's going on here. I don't know why it took so long, guys. I just don't. No explanation for it. So keep fishing. I end up back up front near the dam again, and then work that right side back on back. And guys, that's pretty much it. Went the rest of the day without a bite, without another fish on the board. But in my mind, I was so happy. I was stoked. I had a 20-inch fish, which is also a citation size fish in the state of Delaware. So I had a monster that goes on the wall too, y'all. So I felt pretty dang good about it. You know what I mean? I felt pretty good. I was like, man, this is cool. I'm in there. I got that. And I caught big fish of the day, right? I knew it. I knew I caught the big fish of the day. I looked at the board. I knew I caught the big fish of the day, guys. And I knew with big fish, it was a couple bucks in the kitty, you know what I mean? And got a monster on the wall. So to me, with 2 fish on the board, I was happy like I won the tournament. Okay, guys? So I make my way back. Yeah, the rest of the day was no bites. I fished some more pads. I fished some more of this. I fished some more of that, and just got no bites. It was tough, man. It was pretty dang tough. I didn't understand it. You know, I could see if I got a lot of small bites, you know, that'll help me walk through the day. Like, well, I got bit. I just couldn't find the big ones. Well, I found a big one. I found a small one, but I had no pattern to go by. So I ended up, guys, with 2 fish on the board. So I thought. In conclusion, Tournament 3 was an awesome, awesome day. All right. Now, I said 2 fish on the board. It ended up being 1 fish on the board, guys. Through my excitement, through my giddiness, through my shakes, and just being happy. That adrenaline was pumping. I caught that 5-pounder in the tournament. Okay, normally 20 inches is a 5-pounder, 4.89 to 5.5 pounds. It's pretty much a 5-pounder, guys. So I catch that 20-inch fish, and I put it on the board. I thought I took enough pictures of it, man. And every single picture, I messed up. Guys. Messed up pretty big, too. Kind of sucked. It was a kick in the nads, if you know what I mean. Hurt me in my stomach. Yeah, kick. A real mule kick, if you know what I'm saying. So, it was my fault. I didn't pay attention close enough to the picture, guys. My ID, it was covered up. One letter, number, whatever was in that 3rd slot. Yeah, angry, dude. I was so livid with myself, not the tournament director, none of that. He reached out. He said, man, you caught Lunker of the Day, and I'm glad I got to see it because, he got to look at it on the Tourney X, and he's like, man, you caught a 5-pounder. You caught a Lunker of the Day, and I'm sorry, but I can't count it. I can't let it slide. I know you got 2 out of the 3 on the ID, but if I let you get away with it, I got to let everyone else get away with missing 1 number or 1 letter on their ID. And I totally get it. I didn't want no favors. No, sir. I said thank you very much. And I'm glad that you're holding down the integrity of the club and you're doing a very good job, sir. So I really thank him for reaching out to me. And, I didn't have any ill feelings, but I didn't want anyone to think that I did anyway. Because I didn't at all. It was all my fault, okay? And it's cool. It's all right. Did you see that? That's that bass. Yeah, I got him on the wall, y'all. Come on, man. What you think I was going to do? Lose my mind? No, I still got a monster on the wall, okay? So, we got one on the wall, big bass. It's all good, but I've been wanting to get me one this year, okay? I wanted one last year, but I didn't get one last year. I don't know. I did, but I didn't record it. I don't know what happened, but we got one on the wall. So, tournament number 3 ended with me in 17th place. Yeah, 17th place. One fish on a 13.25. It was a small fish, but not last place. Hey, gotta thank my lucky stars, right? You know, thank you, Lord. I still got one fish on the board that counted, and big fish ended up on the wall. I didn't get the big fish payout, which is cool. It was all my fault. I can't say nothing else about that part, So overall, tournament number 3 was fun. It wasn't a bust. It wasn't all bad, okay? It was my mistake. And so until next time, guys, right? Until next time. So man, next one. Tournament number 4. All right. I can't wait to talk about tournament number 4 with you guys. Show you what I had to go through in tournament number 4, right? For me, which is probably about tournament number 6 for the club, all right? And then after 4, we got tournament number 5. And guys, I've been getting my butt kicked. I thank you for your patience. I thank all of you guys for watching, and I appreciate you guys taking the time out to see how my crazy tournaments turn out, and hopefully you learn from it, okay? So, first things first, don't overthink it. Number 2, pay attention when you're taking pictures, okay? Pay attention to your ID marker. Pay attention to fish position. Pay attention to hand position, not over the gill plate. Pay attention to all those things, all right, guys, in your pictures, and don't let the fish go until you examine and review your pictures, all right, guys? So we know that. And now, don't ever assume that everyone's fishing anything. If it looks good, just fish it, man. Just fish it. Don't overthink it. Just fish it. Take your time. Slow down. Come on, man. You guys know what I mean. So, thanks for watching, guys. It's my time. I'm going to go ahead and go. Until next time, guys, get out there, catch you some fish, leave a comment, subscribe, hit like, and tight lines and all that good stuff everybody says. Peace. Man. Big one.